Hello.
Morning.
How to get ahead in advertising. That's Miss Sawalha there, putting her eyeballs in.
Put my eyeballs
Hillary
in.
Cannon, you can get a shout out. I'm sorry you have a chest infection. That's not good. That's not good. Penny Legate, morning everyone. It's chucking it down. Yeah, it's chucking it down here, but I hate to say it, the gardener in me's like, yeah, thank God.
Yeah, you don't have to water the garden.
Well, it's not just don't have to water the garden, but you just know.
This is you thinking positively.
Yeah, I guess so. Good. But it's given me another reason to like inclement weather. Julian Paulson, nasty weather here. Is this the end of lovely warm days? I do think summer's over, guys. Our leaves are falling off all the trees. I think the strange changes to climate change have made nature decide autumn needs to come sooner. Spring happened earlier, so naturally nature goes, fuck you, we're not just doing it come October, we're going to do it in August. Sorry, we do swear on this channel, by the way.
We can't help it, it's in the essence.
Hit the thumbs up, guys. Hit the thumbs up if you'd like to see Nadia Sawalha show her boobs. It's worth a try, isn't it? Morning, Kirsty Wilson. B. Steiber, I think summer is over too. A lovely day for ducks. Hazel Caldera, a lovely day for ducks. Yeah, I guess it is. How was Kiki's birthday? It was lovely. Thank you very much. It was also very nice to down tools and just chill and have really nice quality family time. It was really, really nice. We watched. She chose what we did. We watched things. We ate things. We
did a murder mystery again, guys.
So
honestly, I can't recommend it enough. I think sometimes people get put off by murder mystery because you think, oh, we've got to do a big dinner and we've all got to get dressed up. We don't do it like that. We literally do it on the hoof.
Of course, you guys, I keep thinking they've seen the one we did in Cornwall, but you haven't. And there's a particular make. I was saying last night, they put a lot of creativity actually into the characterisation. So, and it's all within a box. So you don't have to, I mean, you can go away and dress up and do all of that sort of stuff.
Just comes like that.
Yeah. But this is great, and you know, one of you is sort of like in D&D the dungeon master, and then you're given each of your characters.
And it's so funny.
And it's fun. It's good.
It's funny if you play it with different generations. God, we sound like an ad.
Yeah, it's bloody hell. Who are we adding for? Culinario Mortal. I played Paul the director last night. Right sleazebag he was as well, knobbing all the cast and all that kind of stuff. Nanny Di was Patrick, the lead actor. Nanny Di was very funny. In fact, she was very funny in Cornwall too. And we do have footage of her being funny in Cornwall, but you won't have seen it. Though I might pop some in the vlog later. And
nobody knew what each characters were, and then Maddie and Kiki ended up being lovers, didn't
Oh my
they?
God, that was so bizarre. Yeah.
I was a man.
Yeah. So yeah, no, they're great fun. Great fun. Murder mystery. It's great. But you can camp it up and go as big as you want, I guess, couldn't you?
Yeah,
you can sort of do it across the
up,
house.
you have a dinner.
I mean, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to post these out to your dinner guests, and they read the first part before they come along and fully inhabit the character.
Has anyone ever done one?
Haven't you? What's the name of it? Emily Den made. The game is called. The make is Culinario Mortale.
They have loads of them online, but we've got two of those now. That's the second one.
It's for ages 16 to 99, 5 to 8 players, and you can play for 3 to 4 hours. We probably played for an hour and a half, 2, did we, last night?
Yeah, you don't have to play that long. And I think it was about 20 quid.
Yeah, there you go. For a whole night's fun. And of course, the thing is that once you've used it, okay, you've used it once, but you can hand it to a friend and another group of friends, and they can use it again. Ellery Jones did one in Florida 2 years ago. Gabrielle, rainy day, want to have a duvet day. What you could do is sellotape your duvet to your forehead and do your day with your duvet on you. And that can be your duvet day.
I don't want to go out.
Oh, you're going
I look huge in this top. Do you think I should change this top?
I don't think you look huge at all.
No, it's a bit wide, isn't it, on screen?
Yeah. I'm going to be editing lots and lots of content today. I'm also editing my film and doing lots of things. So lots of stuff should be coming forthwith because, of course, you've had a little bit of a silent weekend given our birthday. So what do we think of face coverings at school, guys? I want a quick yes, no. Are face coverings at school a good thing? Yes or no? Simple, yes or no. Hit the thumbs up. Oh, that was Nadia sneezing there. COVID sneeze. Hit the thumbs up if you're enjoying my little kind of nonsensey chat with you. It's nice being here with you, guys. It's really nice. No. Oh, so the vast majority say no. Okay, vast majority say, yeah, I mean, I think the lion's share of people feel it's a bad thing. Why is that? Is that because of how it will get in the way? I mean, some of the theories around masks is that actually they prevent careful social distancing, don't they? Because they give you a false sense of security. In the corridors, maybe, Wilma. Ashley Gardner, yes, you think there should be masks. Hope you're well, Ashley. Yes, in secondary. No for primary. But it's all kids over 12, is that right? Is it all kids over 12? It's compulsory in Scotland now for pupils 12 and over. Yeah. Primary school kids wearing face masks now. Kids won't leave it in place. Kids won't leave it in place. And also, the evidence of a mask, there are some arguments that actually to have a mask means that you're interfering with your mouth and around your face even more than you would do normally, because you're pulling it up, pulling it down, pulling it up, pulling it down. And I think, yeah, oh, there you go. Someone's saying you constantly touch your, I constantly touch my face when I wear a mask. My thought about going to school next week is kids will be sent home as their immunity is so low, Vicky Kinsey. But it passes very sort of, it doesn't seem to bother young kids, does it? What do you think of masks at school?
Oh God, I
was
at
just-
the moment, I am so up in the air with everything that's going on.
Yeah.
I'm so confused by everything that's going on. One minute, as I've said before in here, I'm terrified and I want us to all lock down and then the next minute, I see something, I see an opposing view and I just think, have we all gone crazy?
I think it's really
Because
important.
there's so few deaths now and there's so few, but it's like you say, we don't know what's coming in the winter.
No, but I do think it's important. I mean, I know we've talked about this, I think, yesterday or the day before, that people who like to kind of complain a lot. Oh, you've changed your opinion, you were saying this. Look, if you don't develop in your own attitude to this, then it's suggesting that you are unable to kind of change with the stats or the statistics or your experience. We're human beings, we change. We don't have a fixed binary position. And I think my position on it at the moment is I am doing a huge audit on what my attitude to it all is.
Yeah.
I'm trying to work out how I feel about, whether we've engaged in some degree of mass hysteria, the extent to which a lockdown was right at the beginning, the ways in which we've implemented it, how dangerous is this disease? Is it going to transpire that it's less dangerous than many other conditions that we have that are, kill far more people on a daily basis? But I recognise that there was been a critical point that we didn't know that for sure. And I do hate this idea that I think a lot of people are, with hindsight productions, we call it. It's very easy with hindsight to say we could have done that, should have done that, maybe we did this, da-da-da. You know what? If in 5 years' time we look back and go, it was hysteria, I think we can forgive ourselves for some of it. But I do worry about the economic long-term damage and the media's role in it all. Those are my major concerns. Jenny Mann, you think it should be a choice for all children, even if pupils wore masks? Oh, these are going so fast, they're so good. Gabrielle, even if pupils wore masks, they can't wear the same one all day or for long periods of time. Tra-la-la, well, the amount of chemicals in school has sent my daughter's best friend to hospital with the worst asthma attack she's had. Oh, right, on oxygen and nebulizer. Oh, dear, that's awful. Chelsea girl, very good point. There are still adults, teachers, etc., who can be more vulnerable. Now, that's a really important point, because there are, what people are forgetting, there are huge swathes of the teaching community, teachers themselves, who are in the vulnerable category, or have people at home in the vulnerable category. And we mustn't forget that. We mustn't forget that this isn't just about the people involved on the front line. It's about the people they return home to, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel so sorry for teachers with underlying health conditions. I mean,
Right.
But they do say, don't they, that the woman, the chief medical officer, the female one, said that they're more likely to catch it from the other teachers than they are from children. But how do they know that?
Yeah, well, because I think it's just generally more prevalent, isn't it, amongst adults
No, I
than
know,
it
but
is.
children can still get it, but they just don't get ill with it.
Yeah. But I mean, the problem is, has anyone at any point been shown any scientific... They keep talking about the science. When have you been shown a document that says official at the top, science? I haven't seen any science. We keep being told it, interpreted by so-called, experts and politicians, but I never see the actual science. Where can we see the... I know Sage talk, but why isn't the news ever presenting just the salient points?
Jordan, if Jordan is watching this today, I know he does sometimes, you are amazing to
Yeah.
have given me a 10-minute warning.
Yeah, I saw that
Like
was
you.
going to tell you.
Bye,
All right, see you later.
I love you.
Stay
Bye,
safe.
guys.
Have you got your mask?
Yeah, got double mask. Got my mask and my visor.
Don't forget they've got new masks now for bottoms in case you fart.
Love ya.
Fart mask.
Fart mask.
Yeah, put your fart mask on. She's always farting. So face coverings at school. I don't know. I literally don't know. I'm at a point now in my attitude to this whole bloody thing where I don't know so many things. Will take my school out of school if he has to wear a mask. Wow, okay, quite a few people are saying that now. I will homeschool permanently, Sadie's Jeffs, if it's made compulsory in primary schools. Dawn Claricoats. I was flicking through channels this morning and the scientists and the news contradict each other over masks all the time. It's so confusing. Kiki did have a lovely day. Thank you everyone for all of your birthday messages. I saw quite a few coming through on Instagram. Very kind, and she felt the love. I said you've had so many lovely messages from people. Jodie, hope you're well, darling. 3 days until you get the tickets, the keys to your house. That's good. Pauline Mulvey, dentists, surgeons always wear them soon. There must be something to wearing a mask. I'm good, thanks, Maria H. Hate the rain. It's my birthday today, Danny Clark. I'm alone but happy to be here to add a new number to my name. Oh, Danny Clark, happy birthday to you. My 3-year-old wears a mask. Who's saying that? Let's have a look. Hang on. It's coming up. Louise Jones, my 3-year-old wears a mask in shops and buses everywhere. I think we should all wear masks. It does break my heart when I see toddlers. I mean, of course, it's probably the right thing to do. But when I see little kids with masks on, I think, oh, how are they? Maybe you can make it fun for them. I don't know. Maybe you can make it fun. Now, a big part of my childhood growing up was Notting Hill Carnival. And of course, COVID has presented a real crisis for Carnival this year. So there is no literal carnival. So Notting Hill Carnival is something. Now, I wonder, for most people, I'd have thought in the country, Carnival is just something odd that happens in London every year. But it's a big deal. Me and my mum used to live in Ladbroke Grove, and Carnival time around the summer. I mean, often I was down at my nan's, but a couple of years we were around. And then as a student, because I used to get Holland Park Comprehensive up the road, we used to pile down, and all the sound systems, this big street party. It was great fun. It was great fun. I have to say, it had a lot more charm when I was younger. I went many years later to cover it for the BBC, and it was truly, truly hideous, the experience, because it was just so corporate and commercialized. It's like everything. And here's one of the things that might come out of this whole crisis that's quite good. The intimacy of things might return, or the value of things might return. So Carnival is going online. I think a number of sound systems, for example, we've got one down in Brixton that's going to be happening at, I forget the name of the pub, but there's a pub on the corner down going in towards Brixton. So one of the big sound systems is going to be down there. So I think there's going to be sort of virtual pop-up sound systems all over the place. Now, of course, that presents issues, I guess, in terms of social distancing and everything, but it's a key part of the late summer calendar in London. Rachel Louise, I love Notting Hill Carnival, normally go every year. Will be weird not being on this year. It will be weird. And, for me, it's happy memories of the wonderful jerk chicken and food that we'd all eat, and the curried goat and the rice and the peas, and oh my God, and then the music and the sound system under the Westway, Portobello Market, all of that, and then you go off Portobello Market, and then you can find your favourite sound system, and you just hang out there, and you ding. It's all great. So Carnival, Nicholas Sinnott used to live in Brixton when I was a baby. Oh, so yeah, again, I love the way all of these organisations and events are innovating, aren't they, in order to survive. Nicola Randall, Notting Hill Carnival appeals to me more being in. Being in a packed crowd. Yeah, I mean, I have to confess, when I was much younger and up for it, even I found it sort of too much, being squeezed into the streets. I think Notting Hill Carnival going online is nice. And also the other weird thing about Notting Hill Carnival going online means that people who aren't in London can have a little slice of the action. Absolutely, Steph. Notting Hill Carnival was set up to integrate the Windrush cultures with the English. It was to make people more tolerant and more together. And in fact, my childminder from when I was very young, she used to do she was one of the senior costume designers for the floats and for the procession and what have you, and it's a wonderful neighbourhood. In fact, we were there the other week. I think we talked about it, seeing Izzy, and my natural home is Ladbroke Grove and around there, not the Notting Hill end or the Holland Park end so much, but Ladbroke Grove. I really feel like I'm returning home. I feel like a little salmon flapping up the river. So Notting Hill Carnival is going online, and that I think would have been scheduled for this weekend, wouldn't it? So what are the news? Should we have a little digest? Should we have a little news digest? Andrea Smith, don't tell me that there's more good news from Dr. John Campbell. There was a really good thing on Twitter that Nadia showed me, and I think it was retweeted by Denise Welch. regarding a presenter on Sky News Australia who went on a bit of a tirade, but I think a very good one, sort of talking about all the stuff we're troubling with at the moment, which is if why are we not qualifying the bad news with realistic news? Why are we not listening to the fact that where there are 7 people in ICU, I think in all of Australia or something, why is that not being moderated against the sort of, apparently he said something like 60 million people die a year. Okay, so this year 700,000 every year. So this year something 700,000 have died. So, but what's killing, we never hear statistics about what's killing all the other 59.3 million. So we need to get some perspective, I think. I think that's what they're suggesting. I can hear the sounds of movement. I'm in the middle of a live. Just in case you're worried. You all right, sweetie? Yeah. Yeah. All right, darling. Oh, I'm just going to say goodbye to Maddie. That's all right. You all right? Oh, okay, sweetie. A mysterious, hang on, I'm just looking at a headline. It says a mysterious radio burst from space is back right on schedule. Is someone trying to communicate with us? Is someone trying to talk to us from space? I do like all that sort of stuff, don't you? I love all that. Roughly every 1,610 days, it starts all over again, a pulse from outer space. Maybe it's my dad trying to contact me. Maybe it's E.T. phoning home. Martin, what have I just done? Martin Smith. Mark, I was only saying to my partner yesterday that all the focus is on bad news, doom and gloom, but they don't share anything positive. I know, and I was saying on a live the other day that in a way I think Ofcom need to get involved. There needs to be some policing or editorializing standards regarding the news, because when you went to the World Health Organization's list of actions you could do to mitigate being sort of overwhelmed by fear around COVID, and this was right at the beginning, it was on the list of things to do. One of them was limit your exposure to news. Limit your exposure to news. And I think all we've seen is the news get worse. It's like news, you can see newscasters, news editors and news gatherers not wanting to hear people say to them, okay, maybe it's not as bad as we thought, or maybe things are getting better, or maybe the second wave isn't coming. News gathering services need a second wave fear to be there on the horizon so that people keep tuning in and clicking. Don't you agree? Hit thumbs up if you agree. Someone's just said it is Sean Connery's 90th birthday. Whenever I see something trending like Sean Connery, I was thinking, oh no, has he died? But Sean Connery is 90. It's a shame that he's sort of been mired in sort of, sexist sort of attitudes to women, hasn't he, in sort of later years. I was always a fan. He was always my favourite Bond, if I'm honest. Sheridan Smith saying she suffered seizures after the BAFTAs. She's been struggling with her anxiety and with agoraphobia. The mental health crisis. I think I went on Twitter answering someone the other day saying, of course someone was saying, but what about all the people who are struggling with COVID? We understand, we have not heard anything but what's going on for everyone struggling with COVID, and that's not to say you minimise it. But what about what's happening to the millions of people affected by cancer, or the 800,000 people that aren't going to be diagnosed with cancer, and what's happening to the people who are losing their jobs, and the mental health for everyone? Do you know what I mean? I think surely as a race, we can take a multi-pronged, multi-subjected approach to things. Do you know what I mean? We need to be thinking about things in a more multitasking. I mean, surely we can think about COVID and be worried, and think about the worries of cancer. It's like, why does it have to be one or the other? Why are we only prioritising one? And I would argue it's all news flow and news agenda. Now, I used a term the other day that a number of people took umbrage with, fake news. You're probably right. It's not literally fake news, but it's jaundiced news. 1 second, guys. See you later. Text us when you're there, yeah? All right, darling. See you later, babe. So yeah, it's just jaundiced editorializing. It's not necessarily fake news, but it's not accurate news. It's Maddie off to her acting class, socially distanced acting class, which I think was better than she was anticipating it would be, actually. So you know, I do think the news has a lot to answer for. CNN too. I mean, you know, all these kind of left-wing, right-wing, whatever the news, whatever the political agenda of a particular station, they're all interested in just more and more traffic. And I find that frustrating. I find it frustrating. Macaulay Culkin is 40 today. I wonder if he's allowed to be left home alone now. What do you think, guys? Thank you, Andrea. I do keep seeing your some of us use desktop computers, not apps, to access subscription sense. Sorry, I keep seeing your comment, darling, and I'm sorry, but there's nothing we can do about it, I'm afraid. So yeah, I do apologise. Tra-la-la, my worry today, my 19-year-old and his pals have jumped on a flight to Prague, staying in a hostel and sending photos of 1 litre pints. Go and listen to Confessions of a Modern Parent. It's the eternal fear, isn't it? It's the eternal fear. Mandy Dennis, positivity. I'm not saying we should just have positivity. I agree. I mean, there just needs to be, we need to temper it, don't we? We need to give us hope. I mean, what's the point of having a population that has no... We talk about cultures or communities like North Korea where you've got propaganda, and then we look at our choices, and our choices are all kind of dictated by money, aren't they? Because all the news stations are just wanting more people watching them for advertising, for subscription, for all of that kind of stuff. And so, okay, so it's under the guise of freedom of press, but is it really that free? It's all dictated by something, isn't it? It's dictated by fear. And what does Yoda say? Fear leads to hate, and hate leads to suffering. See? Clodagh Egan, I think the Queen should be the newscaster. She always gives us hope. It's funny you should say that, actually. Of all the addresses to the nation, the Queen's was the one that affected both of us the most. Andrea Smith, Dr. John Campbell says the severity of the effect of the virus isn't as bad as it was. There's various reasons why this might be, but much less hospitalisation and deaths in the amount infected. Yeah, the numbers are going down. I mean, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? It makes you wonder why there was such a spike, and that's where I'm agnostic. I'd like to know what is the science behind, and have we got this science, on why there was such an enormous spike so quickly, so early on. And whether the disease or the virus has kind of lessened in its intensity. I'd like that. I'd like, you know, give me the information rather than the hysteria around the headlines. You know, there's no way as a news editor, if I was a news editor, I used to work for a news channel, and they, you know, the line they often use is if it bleeds, it leads. But if you've got 7 hospitalisations versus thousands months ago, you can't pretend that we're in the same level of crisis. But if there's science suggesting we've got an incoming tsunami, let us look at it. Do you know what I mean? I just think we get treated really disrespectfully, if I'm honest. Yeah, I did see, Louise Jones, that in Hong Kong, a guy got COVID again after the first time, but apparently he suffered virtually nothing in the second time. I mean, they're looking into that case. I did see that, and I did, again, worry, is this yet more? There's always going to be enigmas. It's like Bubonic Plague broke out in Mongolia, didn't it, about 3 weeks ago, and that disappeared, but it suited the news agenda to have Bubonic Plague. One man in a field got Bubonic Plague. And apparently there are outbreaks of bubonic plague in Mexico quite frequently. You know, it's about balance. It's about perspective. It does frustrate me. We did have 5 guys yesterday. All right, sweetie. And we now have 2 teenagers in the house. It's very odd. It's very odd. Laurel Nichols, yeah, but even that fact about Mongolia, do not panic, you know, he went off to the doctors, he was being treated, they had a treatment for it, it's not, you know, again, but bubonic plague hits planet, I think was the headline a while back. WHO says another 2 years plus of this, what a joke, yeah, but let's put that in perspective. Maybe the WHO is saying another 2 years of this, but if this ends up being like a really nasty flu, we've had the flu for hundreds of years. So we could have it for longer than 2 years. That's a non-headline, again, in a sense. It's a non-statement by the WHO, and then it's a non-headline to report. Of course it could. It could be here for 10 years, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be killing everyone for 10 years. I think it's just, you know, it frustrates the hell out of me when I look at the way in which headlines are pulled together. Nanny Di was exhausted after a day of celebration. She's currently in the garden drinking a bottle of gin. No, she's not. She's getting ready. She's getting up upstairs. God, I'd hardly say I'm the voice of reason, Gabrielle, but I do get frustrated. I get really, really frustrated. The perspective is lost. And, nuanced thinking. I don't know who said that, but someone said, what's happened to nuanced thinking? We all just want, and I tell you what's happening, we fall foul of it too. And this is the point. Whenever we talk like this, we're not saying we don't fall foul of this. We all get, when you, like, the reason social media is seen as a bad thing is that whenever you get a new alert, you get a dopamine hit, because it's like, oh yeah, check it out, oh yeah, check it out, more followers, oh yeah, all that, get a little hit. It's like drugs and drink. The news does the same thing. So when we lurch from left to right, we're getting a hit. And we're news junkies, and we keep saying to ourselves, we need to turn the news off more. So yesterday we had a day without news. It was really nice. But we are manipulated too. We're all manipulated. And I just sometimes just think we all as humans, surely it's our job to think a bit more than, I don't know, Chi-Chi over there, bless her. Emily Denmaid, agree with you there. Find the government think we're stupid most of the time. I'd also really love to read scientific reports to form our own conclusions. It's all about proof and trust. I agree. Beth T, the bleed it leads line is so old-fashioned. The media really need to rethink their strategy as people becoming wise to it. Well, you say that, but it's kind of like an opiate, isn't it? I mean, we are highly critical of the news, and yet we stay plugged into the news probably too much. I mean, we do in order to be able to sort of distill it a little bit, but yeah, you're right. It's I think we're all hooked on the sort of emotional lurches towards disaster. I mean, if you think about it, we all like, as humans, something to complain about. We all like things to celebrate, but oh wow, God, everything's coming to an end. Oh wow, we like this. There's a hit in there, isn't there? It's addictive. It's addictive, is what I'm trying to say. I'm Art, and I'm addicted to news. Belinda Adams, I love how you and Nanny Di wind each other up. Oh, thank you. A lot of people misread it as me being really horrible to her, but actually off camera, she's really horrible to me. No, she's not. It's not even about the nuanced thinking for me, PhD Pickles. I don't necessarily need a constant both sides adversarial debate. I just want evidence-based journalism without clickbait, headline and fearbait. Couldn't have said it better myself, PhD Pickles. Couldn't have said it better myself. And I think out of that evidence-based journalism, we would be able to have nuanced debate. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, so let's try and find, someone just said, let's find a happy news story to end on, shall we? Let's find a happy news story. Let's have a look. So France, tit-for-tat quarantine measures on travellers. No thanks, we don't want that. I want to hide under the covers. Female NHS staff suffering stress and exhaustion. Robbie Williams is dropping a hint that he's leaving LA over fears for his kids. Don't fancy looking into that story. Let's have a look. Oh, it's really hard to find a good news story. Mysterious radio burst from space is back. Maybe they're coming to rescue us. Oh, you just watched the morning show, Trolala. It's good, isn't it? Let's have a look. Still struggling to find any positive news. Let's have a look. Keep scrolling down. Scrolling through all the news. Harry Potter star Scarlett Hefner welcomes first child with Cooper Hefner. That's nice news, isn't it? Let's have a look. Okay, yeah, 1 in 8. Wearing a face, they beat COVID. Oxford University coronavirus vaccine could go before regulators this year. It's kind of good news. Kind of good news. Yeah, everything else is skewed, like Germany's new coronavirus infections 4-month high. But yeah, infections, but what about deaths, for God's sake? So frustrating. I literally cannot find any good news. There is none, other than Keanu Reeves really wishes he could have played Wolverine. And I think sometimes when we're feeling a little bit down and a bit out of sorts, a little sort of bit of Keanu in our lives is good. It's a sort of, Keanu Reeves, who, as you know, I've played table tennis against, is probably one of the kindest, loveliest men in the business. He's suffered terrible tragedy in his personal life, great upset. He's a decent, kind, good fellow. And I won't hear a bad word said about him. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm looking forward to the new Bill and Ted film, though I will go and see it. But he's a good egg. And I beat him at table tennis, which is a nice feeling, because of course he's John Wick. And that's so cool. It's just so cool. So I think a nice, leaving ourselves with Keanu Reeves's visage is a nice way to end on sort of not good news, but a nice image, isn't it? Don't you think? I think so. Good news. What's this? Someone's just given me good news. My sister has her 12-week scan tomorrow and we can finally tell her children, my other 7 nieces and nephews, doing an announcement to our Andrea Smith. That is lovely news. And let's all hit the thumbs up for Andrea Smith. And let's all hit the thumbs up if we'd all like to go and do a round of table tennis with Keanu Reeves. Faith Goodman, years and years ago, I was studio directing an entertainment show. And we used to have very, very, very famous guests come in for the day and they'd spend a day with us and we'd shoot a number of shows for NBC, an American channel. And we used to have a table tennis tournament with guests that were down to earth and who wanted to partake in it. And we'd take them downstairs and we'd play against them. And he was one of them who availed himself of the challenge, and it was lovely. I asked Courtney Cox to play, but she said no. I was disappointed. Yeah, I fancied a bit of ping pong with Courtney. Anyway, lots of love, guys, and you will be seeing vlogs later, maybe a Greenfigured Hell, God only knows, but we love you all, and hit the thumbs up if you've enjoyed our little rambling chit-chat, digest of the news. Share your thoughts with us if they're nice and they're printable and legal, otherwise we'll block you. And there we go. So lots of love, guys. Bye.